All right. So, welcome. What's up? Productivity and profit. Do this quick video because I need a break from my brain. And today on our Wealth Acceleration office hours, we have office hours every week. If you're a Knicks miss, you know that because I talked about it today at whatever it is, second day of Knicks miss. And I'm going to dive into this tomorrow. I'm going to show you how to really craft this. But here's what I see. People say, hey, Nick, what should I do? I'm having a hard time making sales. I have a $5,000 offer. It's $5,000 for 8 weeks and then $20,000 a year. And already I know they're not set up for success. Why? Because that is a model that somebody sold to them, right? $5,000 up front plus a back end. A good offer, a good product is not a cookie cutter model. So if you actually can help somebody, right? And I'm going to tell you this comes from decades and decades and decades, actually hundreds of years of research on diffusion of innovations, which is it's a 900-page book that breaks down how things actually scale, ideas, businesses, concepts, innovations, diffusion of innovations. And you can go read the tomb if you want, but here's why most people are failing. If you could say to me, hey, look, my offer is $3,000 for 90 days or 6 weeks or 8 weeks, and then $30,000 a year ongoing, you're probably not set up for success because there's a pattern recognition. Like, it's just on my end, it's just pattern recognition. I already know somebody else sold you that structure. That is not how innovations, new ideas, services scale. How they actually scale is through a combination of knowledge, perceived advantage, trialability, and reinvention. And there's a few other things, but those are the important things. So that means, let's say I teach holistic weight loss, just as an example. It's not what I do. And I say, cool, $5,000 for 6 weeks and then $18,000 a year. There's a few things missing that high-ticket people don't teach you because they don't actually have a good service and know how to scale. The trialability, the reinvention, and the individual indexing. So if somebody comes and says, hey, this is a great example, actually, saying, yeah, you should do a 12-week program for $3,000 is group indexing. That's what people do on average. That means nothing for you. It's probably not ideal for you. So if you're an integrated weight loss holistic coach, okay, what I want to know is you're not going to group index me. And this is an example Dan used on our office hours today. I want to know you're not going to group index me. So if you say, well, you're 30 years old and 6 feet tall and 220 pounds, on average, you should do X, Y, Z. People are not paying high ticket or any ticket for something they can Google, right? The average. And so when you're crafting your offer, you have to have if you want to, especially if you want to be high ticket, you really want to help people, there should be a component of individual indexing, which means when people go, hey, how should I sell this? I say, I don't know. Why don't you come to the office and I will build a plan for you and I will give you a month of support, weekly calls. So you come in and you get 1 call a week for 3 weeks. I give them personal attention so they know everything they do is individually indexed, right? Like everything's for them. It's not an amalgamation of people like them. Okay, so that's one thing to consider, is like a diagnostic process of, let me show you that I'm building this custom for you. The triability component is the fact that you can come in for an office day, see what it's like, make sure I like you, make sure you like me, make sure that I'm listening, that kind of, there's a trialability component. When you say, hey, it's $5,000 for 12 weeks, there's no trialability. You lose a lot of people that would otherwise pay you if they just had an opportunity to see how you operate. And the third component is reinvention, which is what you think you want to deliver and what people actually want are often very different things. So what reinvention is when maybe Melanie says, hey, how do I build this business? And in my head, I have the package I want to deliver to her, right? Like 90 days, one-on-one calls, whatever. But I decide to do a diagnostic process instead. And I say, hey, Melanie, why don't you come in for a day? And then we have a conversation and I use that trial to get feedback and let her reinvent my program, because I have this in my head the way I want to deliver it. But there are things that if I just let the audience, let my prospects, let my market tweak, it will spread much faster because it makes it easier for them, more palatable and easier. Right? So it's reinvention. So what I recommend, and I'll break this down tomorrow in the 12 days of Niximus, what I recommend is a diagnostic process of trialability. So you could do a free session. I like paid sessions better, and maybe 2 or 3 support calls after the paid session. So you come to the office for a full day. We'll lay out a blueprint individual to you. And then we'll have 3 follow-up calls to make sure that you understand exactly what you need to do and hold your hand and yada, yada, yada. That's the trialability. Now, the reinvention is happening when you're giving me feedback. And I'm like, yeah, if I say, hey, just take your blood sugar every morning, and you say, ooh, that's really tough because I'm really worried about needles. It really scares me. I say, okay, well, now I start reinventing the deliverable to make it easier to spread, make it easier for you to actually do. So, okay, maybe I don't need it every morning. And so that's reinvention, is you're using that trial to let the prospect, the clients, your market reinvent your offer in a way that better fits them. And then the individual indexing is that when they give you feedback, you adjust it specifically for them. And then you have, and as you're reinventing, you're crafting an offer that makes sense. So if you come to me and you say, hey, $5,000 for 6 weeks, and then they go into $18,000 a year, I'm already pretty sure that is not the optimal offer for you to deliver or for your market to receive. Again, pattern recognition, you just try to cookie cutter an offer structure somebody else sold you. There's no individual indexing built in. There's no trialability built in, and there's no opportunity for your audience to help you reinvent the offer in a way that it will diffuse quickly, which means it will spread. Hopefully that makes sense. It's a little advanced. I'm going to break it down in Niximus tomorrow. But that's why people say, yeah, you need to package up. So 12 weeks for $7,000. And then your continuity will be $30,000 a year on the back end. Completely made up. No trialability. No individual indexing, right? Like they did not build that custom for you. And there's no ability for reinvention. And that is why things hit a wall. It's why they don't sell. It's why even if they do well for a while, they fall off, because you don't allow for that reinvention period. Perfectionists are the worst. They have a way they want to deliver things. And frankly, the way experts want to deliver things is almost never the way they're best received by the market. And without that reinvention period, you're going to get stuck. Hopefully that's useful. Sit on that. Let me know if you have any questions. My videos will start getting better because Justin Demers, I just hired Justin Demers to help me with my lighting and my background and all that stuff. So he's a video expert, got Emmys and all that stuff. So think about that. Okay. Really, really powerful stuff. And this is why most really, really great service providers are failing, is if you're really good at what you do, you have to allow for a trial. You have to individually index. That's what makes you good at what you do, is you know how to help an individual. And you have to allow for reinvention to happen. And that is a feedback loop between you and your market, or you and your individual clients. Cool.